Hello, my friend. We're back at it again, and I have another lesson for you today, and that is to always try to be seeking to push your limits, and that can go for various things, whether that's mentally, physically, or like a combination of the both. A good example of this is like an ice bath. Getting into just like frigid cold water and just sitting there for like 3 minutes, maybe even 5, right? Just sitting in that cold and just soaking it all in. So yesterday, I did one of the toughest physical challenges of my life, I'll be honest. And it was like this college soccer camp, right? And so I drove all the way out to the college where we were doing the camp thing, right? And then we just went at it. Like, it was like these like short, intense like games, like on and off, like pretty rapid fire for about, I think it was like 2 hours or so, maybe even 3. And then we had a small break for like lunch and like a recruiting talk or whatever. And then we had a final like 2 hours or so, hour and a half maybe, of games. It was a lot of soccer. I'm gonna be honest. It was a lot. And it was the most that I've ever played like consecutively in a day. And I think it was like upper 90s. No, it was 90s and sunny and humid outside. So it was pretty brutal, I'll be honest. On like a turf field, that thing gets hot, especially whenever the sun's beating down on it. It was tough. And I remember whenever we were getting to the end, I was so fatigued and just like depleted that everything was cramping. Like, if I tried to stretch out one of my muscles, the other side would just like start cramping. And I remember on my way home, whenever I was driving, as I was like grasping the steering wheel, my hand would start cramping up, and I would like have to like take one of my hands off the steering wheel, like straighten them out to get them to stop cramping, and then go back to driving. It was brutal. It was on like, and my stomach also felt like super, like I felt sick from how much water I had drinking, just because I had drinking just like a gallon of water or something insane. And all throughout that, I'd only eaten like a couple ounces of turkey. Like, I didn't have breakfast beforehand. I just went in, fasted, because some advice that I heard recently is that you should play hungry. And honestly, I think it did help. Honestly, like, I think it made me play better. But yeah, it was like I had eaten basically nothing for the entire day, drinking like a ton of water, and almost to where I was sick. And I just played like I just ran around so much in the heat. It was brutal. It was a lot more than I've ever done before, I'll be honest. Like, the most I've done like soccer wise is like a double header, which is like 2 games, right? 2 games in a row. That was also in the heat, but it wasn't as bad, honestly. But yeah, I think, yeah. Anyways, that's my little story of what happened yesterday. But I think it's important to do stuff like that every once in a while, even though it sucked. I'm be honest, like, it was awful. Like, at the end, sure, I was having fun, right? But my body, like, it just hurt. Everything hurt. My legs were just like aching. And then when I got home, I knew it would also suck, but I needed to do it, which was an ice bath, right? So I got some ice, and I just poured it in a tub, and I got in the cold tub, and it was like, I didn't measure it, but it's probably around like 50 degrees, right? Cold water. And I hopped in anyways. Pushing your limits is such an important thing to do, because if you don't know where your limit is. And so maybe you're training like much too below that. And then you don't know if you're actually making fast progress, if that makes sense. Because you can make progress, sure, if you're training at like 60 to maybe 70% of your limit, right? Like, that general range, like 50 to 70, that's a pretty good, like, relatively okay training range of like whatever your limit is and whatever it is, right? 50 to 70% works for most people, as long as you just do a lot of reps of that. But I think it's important to understand where your limits are. Like like your 1 rep max for like something like squat, right? Like it's important to know honestly where that is, right? So you can train in proportion to that. Because if you're not measuring where that is, and you just stay at 50% of whatever you think your limits are, then you're probably not going to be making as much progress as you probably can, if that makes sense, right? Because let's just say you want to build like strength with your squats, right? You can stay within 50, like you could technically stay within like 60% of your 1 rep max and just train in that range, just do more reps, right? And you would technically build strength over time, but that's not an optimal way of going about it. Like the best way for training strength, I'm pretty sure, is being within like the 70 to 80% range, maybe even 90, right? And doing it for less reps, just closer to that 1 rep max that you have. That's a better way of training for strength in particular, right? But you can apply this to other areas of life, right? Like if you want to, get better, I don't know, like mental toughness, or just be better at, what the frick? What the heck? I think a bird just flew on my roof. Okay, whatever. Sorry. There's a bird. I think it flew up on my... Yeah, there's a bird up there. Oh, yep, there it goes. Okay, sorry about that. What was I talking about? 1 rep max. Yeah, it can apply to other things as well. Like if you want to get on like better mental toughness, you could do an ice bath, or just do something that's like mentally taxing for a long period of time, like just running, right? Just like jogging, trying a marathon, right? Those sorts of tasks are the things that are going to be like push your limits psychologically and physically. And I think those challenges are such a great thing to do, because if you can do those things, right, you can survive through a marathon, you can survive in the ice tub. You just become so much more of a resilient person everywhere else. Because I know now that I've done that camp, that I have suffered through that I've been through the heat and the electrolyte depletion and the hand cramps driving home. All of that. I've been through that now. And whenever I play a regular soccer game, whenever it's cooler outside, I know now, if I like start to bitch out or whatever, be like, oh, I'm tired, I'm just going to be forced to think back to that moment and think, wow, I'm being a coward right now. Because that is toughness right there. Like just pushing through that, survive. Like I could have left like halfway through, but I didn't, right? I kept going. And so pushing your limits beyond just like making more progress, pushing your limits with like challenges like that, like running a marathon and, getting into the ice bath, run, just doing difficult things. It's going to make you more resilient just throughout your entire life. It's going to make you, whenever you're in less, strenuous situations, it's going to make you less likely to give up in those things, in those times. And even whenever things do get stressful in your life, wherever that is, you're going to think, okay, well, I've been through worse. I ran a marathon, so how hard could this possibly be? So yeah, push your limits, man. Because it just makes you feel better as well. Like just pushing your limits, you really feel accomplished whenever you complete whatever challenge that is. Whenever you overcome the hurdle, you feel great. Like today, I feel good. Like my legs are a little like I'm just fatigued, right? But I feel good. I'm glad I went to that camp. I'm glad that I cramped that much for some reason. I know it sounds kind of weird, but I'm glad that happened, because now I know that I can deal with it. I know that I'm more capable because of that stress. So yeah, I think that's really all I got to say to you today. It's just push your limits, okay? Don't be afraid of it. I think my younger self, at points, he was kind of scared of that for some reason. I don't know. He's just, adverse to challenges, but you shouldn't be. You should embrace challenges with open arms. And like, you shouldn't want your life to be harder than you need it to be, but you should add some, difficulty into your life, even if it is artificial, because nowadays, like, our lives can be really, like, life can be really, really easy, honestly. I mean, you have everything you want. You can have literally everything you want from your phone. Like, you can order food from DoorDash, right? Like, you can DoorDash food to your door. You can watch endless entertainment Mr. Beast YouTube videos. You can do anything, right, to stimulate and make life easy for yourself. But that's not what life is about. Life is about challenge. Life is about pushing your limits, seeing how good you can get. And I think that's something that I've learned recently, is I want to be able to push myself just like everywhere, max out my stats, if you will, because I think that's what the game of life is about. It's just maxing out your stat. Like, that's what I did. That's what I used to do in video games all the time, which is, I'd play a game and I'd max out everything. Like, I'd just try and become like overpowered, So why not become overpowered in real life by pushing your limits? I don't know. It's just some food for thought. Anyways, now I'm done yapping, and I hope you like this video, man. If you like what I'm saying, you should go subscribe. You really should. And yeah, you should also just, I don't know what else you should do. Oh yeah, you should stay hydrated, because hand cramps, they're not fun. Or cramps in general, they're not fun. So stay hydrated. Yeah, make sure you're not eating bad food, and I'll see you in the next one, bro. Be better and have a W day.